Director George Miller uses mise-en-scène in Babe, Pig in the City to differentiate between the bright utopia in the countryside and dark reality of the city through specific elements including design with costuming and location, and composition with his thoughtful framing. George Miller, the director of Babe, Pig in the City, which was made in 1998, is an Australian filmmaker, and he is most well known for directing and producing the Mad Max, Happy Feet, and Babe franchises or series. At the Hollywood premiere of Happy Feet, Miller spoke with Showbiz Junkies about how his movies, including Happy Feet and Babe, are a balance between being child-friendly and also containing deep and sometimes darker messages.
Well, it's storytelling. You're trying to get all the levels, and it's like mixing a wonderful meal and getting all the right ingredients and hoping to make it all work together.
Happy Feet definitely contains some darker messages about climate change, pollution, and general human disregard for animal life.
Lovely. Are you okay?
And the sequel to Babe is certainly not without its commentary on the mistreatment of animals despite its other child-centered themes.
My human tied me in a bag and threw me in the water. My tummy hurts.
One of George Miller's signature touches is not only his ability to convey powerful and dark themes through seemingly playful children movies, but he also has the ability to create intense and intricate mise-en-scene. His production designer, Roger Ford, discussed the larger departments required to design these costumes and sets in an interview with SBS.
It was a very big production indeed. I think there was something like 600 people were involved in the making of the film. And even the art department, which is normally a group of 4 or 5 people, was well up to 25 people.
Obviously, this mise-en-scène hugely influences the meaning behind the film, as evident in Miller's choice in having such a huge design crew. Thus, by analyzing mise-en-scène, one can go back to seeing how Miller creates a contrast between city and countryside with mise-en-scène. Mise-en-scène is defined as staging or putting on an action or a scene. Within mise-en-scène, filmmakers have design and composition. First, we will examine design, which is how settings, props, lighting, costuming, and makeup look in the making of a film. In the opening scene of the film, we see the vibrant costuming of the countryside, conveying a happiness and utopia, with props like colorful balloons, big signs, streamers, and bright costuming that takes the viewer back in time. The setting in a green space also gives it a warmth and welcoming vibe. The viewers get the sense that nothing goes wrong here. Well, almost nothing does, because soon the conflict takes the viewer to a totally different world in the airport. In the airport, we see how design and composition impact the meaning portrayed to viewers. The makeup of Mrs. Hogarth's rosy cheeks and bright red dress in comparison to the dark and modern suits of the men in the airport brings in an ominous tone, cueing the viewer into seeing that these worlds are changing. As for the composition, or the organization, distribution, balance, and general relationship of actors and objects within the space of each shot, we see a great framing technique. The two men frame the woman's face perfectly so the viewer perceives the men as dark figures towering over her, again cluing viewers in that they're no longer in their perfect little farm anymore. Similarly, this next shot balances Mrs. Hoggett against the directory, making her appear smaller in front of the overwhelming amount of information, showing the confusion and complexity of the big city. Another compositionally significant scene is when Babe is looking out on the big city. The camera focuses in on Babe and frames him in a circular view, thus allowing the audience to see from Babe's point of view. The actual location and setting of the city contains all major landmarks of all cities to emphasize the overwhelming and impressive environment of the city in comparison to the free and simple life in the countryside. In conclusion, from the costuming to each camera shot, Director Miller used his expertise in mise-en-scène to visually separate the two worlds of the countryside and the city, causing the audience to view the city as a corrupt, oppressive environment and the countryside as a freeing, welcoming environment, giving the sense of happily ever after whenever Babe and the animals finally return back to the farm.